Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to do a Q&A on self-employment for lawyers. So there are some questions that I put on our this Instagram page, Lawyers Helping Each Other. So people asked a few questions, so I'm going to answer those questions here. Those questions I've written here on this notebook. So for those who are new here, I'm Ruth Tanwe. I started my law firm Ruth Tanwe and Company Advocates in 2020. I got admitted in 2019, but I started my law firm a year later, 2020. But that's when I actually registered the law firm. Before, just after my admission, as I think I've shared for the people, I already shared that immediately after my admission, the place where I was doing holding over, they could not retain me as an advocate. So I had to find, I first started trying to get a job. I started by trying to get a job, but I didn't find one. So that's when I started freelancing. So 2019, I basically freelanced. So then on February 2020, that's when I established my law firm. So basically what I'm sharing is based on my own experience. My law firm is now, this February, it's 2 years old. So that's where my experience is coming from. So I'm going to answer my questions based on that. So the first question I got was, can you start your own law firm immediately after KSL without experience? The answer is yes, you can. There's no law prohibiting someone to establish their own law firm as long as you are a practicing advocate with a practicing certificate. Before I don't, there was a time when you could only establish your law firm after 2 years of working under another advocate. So 2 years after working under another advocate is when you could establish your own law firm. But now there's people went to court and it was scrapped out. So as an advocate, you can start immediately after KSL, after admission. Because the question is after KSL. So you can't start after KSL immediately. No, it's after admission to the bar. When you're admitted and you have a practicing certificate, you can establish your own law firm. And nowadays, most people are taking that route, by the way. A lot of people take that route nowadays. You find many young lawyers, immediately after admission, they start their own law firm. So I hope that question is well answered. So the second question is, how did you raise your first capital? Because a lot of people are saying something that's holding them back from pursuing self-employment is capital. So for me, as I've stated, like in 2019, after I'd gotten admitted, I was not retained for holding over. I started by freelancing. So for me, what I did criminal matters. So I did criminal matters. I could freelance getting criminal clients. I think if you understand how the criminal procedure works, unlike civil, criminal is very easy. Most things, even coming on record, you do it orally, so you don't have to file a notice of change of advocates like the commercial court, where you have to file notice of change of advocates and you state the law firm you're coming from. So you see, it's one of the area of practice where you can practice without actually having a law firm, because you just come on record orally, just state your name and you're saying you're coming on record. Most applications are done literally orally, so I felt that was the easiest path to follow. But I know I'm saying someone may think it's something simple, like you just wake up. It took time, by the way. It took time getting criminal clients, or before you build a network around, like the police officers who arrest, the arresting officers, before you get to build that network until it reaches a point where they actually they call you. But then it reaches a point after now that you have built a network, you've built contacts. You wake up in the morning or in the day before, you get calls. You're like, there are people who are being taken to court tomorrow. So that's where I started. Then after now, so that was 2019. So in 2020 now, I used that money to start my own farm. So that's why I often say, you don't have to actually have the money. You can try and first get the money before actually, because if you wait, I think for everything, when you want to start something, if you wait until you have everything, if you wait, like for instance, for me, if I had waited to get money, that would mean focusing on first getting employed, then I get a salary, then I start saving. Now you see, that thing could have taken longer. So in short, start somewhere. Don't let the fact that you don't have that finances hold you back. Start somewhere. Yeah, I know it's easier said than done, But my point is, you can try to find ways of getting that money fast. So the next question is, how did you get your clients? Because that's another big question for people want to go to self-employment, because of course you can't start your practice without clients. So as the me initially, of course, I had already criminal clients. So remember, for criminal matters, you start with plea taking. When the person is brought to court, it's plea taking. But remember, that's not the end of everything. So after plea taking, there's mentions, there's a hearing, and all that. So most of the clients, I used to go with them the long road. So meaning, for me, someone like me, by the time I was establishing my law firm, I had a few clients. Mostly they were criminal clients. So I didn't start from zero. But and then for me, what another thing I did, I capitalized on social media, online. I think most advocates, what I've realized, the law firm in the legal industry, most people haven't capitalized so much on online. It's mostly where you find it's these Ivy League firms mostly who have capitalized on online. They have websites, they have, most, even there's some who they have YouTube channels for their firms, so they share content. So as I was saying, for someone like me, I established my law firm in February 2020, and then if you can remember, the pandemic hit in March 2020. So for me, I remember during that period, because I remember courts were closed. So what I did, that is when I decided to create, because I knew the main problem that was going to happen is employment issues. So that's why I decided to create content on employment, unfair termination, summary dismissal. So I created content around that, salary reduction. That was another issue that I knew it was going to be major because of the pandemic. So at least I was shedding light on the rights around those areas. So this creating content, by this sometimes you so this creating content through my website, my law firm website, because for me, I think before even getting an office, a physical address, the first thing I did is establishing a website for my law firm, because I knew that's very important. Most people nowadays, by the way, they check you out, they check your website. That's the first thing, especially if someone is engaging your services for the first time, and they don't know you. So it's your website that is going to give them, it will make everything legitimate in a way that now they'll feel comfortable to approach you for legal services. So for me, I that's why I was saying, for this, now that sharing online content around employment. And also, remember, for me, even before, again, as I said, I'd already established my website even before I, like, even like, immediately I registered my law firm. I had already established my website even before getting a physical address. So I was also, apart from employment, I was also sharing content on land is an issue that I don't think we're even close to solving that problem, because everything it's an historical injustice. So I know it's something that, it's recurrent, things keep changing, and it's because a lot of people get conned, despite the fact. And when you even find out the people are getting conned, even I know there are lawyers who can attest to the fact that you do everything, you do a search at the land registry and everything seems okay, and then later you come and realize things were not as they seemed, because there's a lot of corruption. It's mostly based on corruption. So you find there are people who are so powerful to an extent they can pull out a file, the green card file, the original file from the land registry. Now you see, for you, there's nothing much you can do about that. So you're doing a search on a property, you find the file when it doesn't exist. So like, my point here is, that's content that I know it has audience, because people are still, it still has challenges. So I also shared content on that. Then that's how I got, now apart from criminal, is now putting content out there on social media. That one helped me, because people reach out. The thing is, with sharing content online, I think that's why maybe people can easily give up, is because results are not instant. Because sometimes you can be sharing content, you share content, and you're like, people are not even reaching out. I've shared this content, people are not reaching out. Or there are people who reach out, but they're just consulting. They are not, like, engaging your services. So with online content, it needs patience, because the number of people have handled their matters. It's not like they saw your content today or last week. It's someone will tell you, by the last year, I had intentions of buying land this year, so I saw your content. So I was like, by the time I get the money now, maybe to purchase land, or the money now to engage your services, I'm going to engage your services. So online, the second one is online. for criminal crimes. And then also friends, referral from friends and family, also that one works. But now this one, you should be careful, because I know everyone understands working with family and friends is not, it's not a walk in the park. So I'm not saying that you should avoid them. I'm saying have measures in place, so ensure, like, by the time you're engaging these services, you've already put everything, especially especially for the legal fees, agree how much this person is going to pay. Even though you've given them a discounted rate, at least be in agreement and how the payment is going to be made. Like, don't break rules because it's family and friends. That's how now disagreements come about. Because I've had colleagues who tell you they have, like, there's a colleague I found, she was so frustrated. She was telling me she took this matter because it's family, and they're not paying her, and she can't, because of her reputation and everything about family issues, she can't drop the matter, and they keep lying they're going to pay. So it's better, even maybe not, I normally say, if you have a family who have approached you for certain matter, because it's your family, so of course you already know them. Chances are very, you already know what kind of people they are. So if you know there are people who are not going to pay you for your services, remember these things. Like, you engaging their services doesn't, you're going to spend your time and everything. So what so at least what I normally do sometimes with family, you tell them, I'm not so well conversant with this area of law, but I can refer you to another advocate. That will make things easier. So for me, it was criminal clients online. That's a place I think everyone can capitalize on. You get an area you're good at. You don't have to exactly do like what I did, employment and conveyancing. Get an area you're good at. It can be tax law. KRA are always on people's cases. It can be like anything that you're, even like right now, the entertainment industries, it's an area of law. That, so if that's where your passion lies, you can start sharing content. And as I was also saying, you don't really even have, because a website, it costs money. For a website, it costs money. But social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, you create a page for free, so you can even start there before, if maybe you don't have the money to first establish the website. Because anyway, the truth of the matter is, websites, they are costly, especially to establish a good website. So the other question was, do you ever have fear or lack of confidence sometimes, and how do you handle it? Yes, fear will always be there, especially since, most of the time you get into self-employment, you're maybe, like, for me now, I'm 3 years into practice, so there's some matters that sometimes, they shake you a bit, like, you're like, will I really handle this matter? It looks to be complex. But me, what I do is, I know everything is research. It's not rocket science. So I do my research well. I consult so that I make sure at least I'm at par. So I do my research so well. Consult senior advocates. So this is another thing one should have. Like, make sure you have like 2 senior advocates you can always consult for some matters. So for me, that's what I normally do, a lot of research and consultation. And also, Kenya Law Reports is the best friend in legal matters that are going to court. Because I don't think it's so rare. In very rare occasions, you'll find a matter that has never been taken to court. So at least you'll see what the court judgment was. You will even, because most of the time they put details there, what this person sought for, the orders this person sought for. So that's how I create my, because I'm imagining, of course, your confidence mostly will be shaken by you not trusting yourself. And then another thing is, you just feel the fear and do it anyway. Because I remember the first matters I was handling, you will appear before court shaking, but you do it, especially first matters, but you just do it because, like, there's nothing. Feel the fear and do it anyway, because you can't let that fear hold you back. Fear is something that will always be there. Most people will tell you the fear will always be there, but you just feel it and do it. But the best thing, of course, go prepared to court. So as long as you're prepared, you have your facts in order, I don't think there's anything hard. So for me, that's what I do. I make sure I'm well researched, I've consulted enough for a matter, so that when you're going to court, you're good. And also, of course, you want to deliver for your clients. Someone asked how to handling finances. So for me, finances. At first, for me, when I started, I made a lot of mistakes because I could mix. Because for self-employment, trust me, it's going to be hard. Because remember, you are working for yourself, so it's normally hard to separate the personal and business money. Because most of the time, at this time, maybe even you don't have any other side hustle, so your job is, of course, your law firm. So it's so much sometimes hard because this is the money that you use to pay for like your rent. This is the money you use to deal with, to handle your expenses. So what I would advise from the beginning, create a business account. Don't wait immediately you register your I'm just saying, the moment you get that registration certificate from the company registry, when your company has already been your law firm has been registered and you now have that certificate, immediately you get it. I think your next stop should be to the bank. Go to the bank, open a business, like an advocate's account. Open an account for your law firm, so that, and then you make sure all this money. So even on doing your fee notes, start from the beginning when doing your fee notes to your clients. Put the details so that that money doesn't come directly to you. That's even how fast you do self-control. So you make sure that money doesn't come directly to you. It goes directly to your business account. So for those clients maybe who pay via M-Pesa, you make sure you organize, you send the money, you send the money to your business account. That's what nowadays I do. That's what I do nowadays. And then what I normally do, before I used to give myself a salary, a certain X amount as a salary per month. But now I changed that procedure. What I normally do now is I give myself a percentage of my profits. That way, you will know, you'll feel what your business is feeling. So sometimes when you do, of course, the percentage is, maybe you have said 30%, 20%, 40%. That one is constant. But now remember, what will now determine how much you will get is the profits. So that I feel it helps you feel what your business is feeling. So if, for instance, this month you didn't get a lot of profits, you'll get less money. So it is an incentive. It's something that will motivate you. So this, especially now, let's say this month you get less money. So next month you will work harder. So for me, that's what I would advise. That's how I handle my finances. So the best thing is separate them, and the best way to separate, remember, you can't ensure your money goes to your business account, your law firm account, so that from there, now if you agree on yourself a percentage, you can do standing orders now every month. If, let's say, you've started by giving yourself a percentage of the money, let's say you're giving yourself, maybe you're paying yourself, let's say 80,000. What you do a standing order, so the money goes directly to a physical account. So, and don't have an ATM card for your business account. Don't. What you do, so that you only have an ATM card for your personal account. So that's the money you always use. Because if you get yourself an ATM card for business account, as you all know, we are human beings. You might be out with your friends. So what I would, with finances, find means where you can control yourself, like, without trusting yourself, like saying, yeah, I'll do this. So find ways where money doesn't come directly to you, and give yourself a percentage. So if you have a partnership, also you agree, you make an agreement together. And then someone asked, how did you get money for your physical, to establish your physical address? So for me, as I've stated, I first, after getting, now, February 2020, when establishing my law firm, how I got money for my physical address. First, I started by co-sharing with a fellow advocate. So it was, the rent became cheaper. So we not as partnership. Me, my law firm is a sole proprietorship. So it's, even the advocate is more senior than me. We don't even have any link together. So for them, they do their own thing, I do my own thing. So we just co-share. But now that helps a lot. It really helps a lot because it makes things easier. It makes it cheaper. But there is also the option of getting these fully furnished offices. Fully furnished offices, maybe you'll pay 20,000 per month, but you have everything. So meaning, so you not need to buy a desk, a drawer for your files. You no need to buy chairs. Like this one, literally, you'll just go there with your laptop. You literally go there with your laptop and your files. and you're good to go. So you can start there. But I mean, with and then there's even someone who shared on the that lawyers helping each other. So for people who are not yet following us there, that's where most conversations happen. As you know, for Instagram, it allows you to share conversations on stories as it happens. So people share their ideas, people share their tips on things. So if you haven't followed us yet, this is the page. You can follow us there. So someone even shared there, like there's some boardrooms who charge you per hour. So for instance, if you have a meeting for like an hour and then you pay at the end of the month. So you see, I think that one is the best because of course you'll have charged your client. So there are many options. There are very many options for getting a physical address. But what I would tell someone that even I think there's a video we shared, having an office, it's not like like it should not be, yeah, it's good to have your own physical office, but it should not be like, don't let that you're like, I can't start my own farm because I don't have my office. No, you can take advantage of the resources that are available. Or I was even saying sometimes, me, I remember when I was now doing having criminal clients, so I would use strategies. You tell someone, by the way, I'm in court today. I have a hearing in court. So can we kindly meet at Hillside Restaurant, the one next to Mlimani? We meet there, and clients are okay with it. So like, don't let that hold you. You can have many ways of meeting clients. So most of the questions were similar. So I think that I've answered all the questions. I don't think there's any question that I've left out because most of them, I narrowed them down because some they are related. So thank you so much to get. I hope these questions have been helpful to people want to get into self-employment. So if you have any more questions, don't feel free to leave it at the comment section, or through this lawyers helping each other, you can ask that question because we normally have conversations like almost daily on matters law. So thank you so much for watching.